Good morning. Yeah, we're still morning. How are we all? I've just finished a coaching call with someone and it was really lovely, and so I thought I'd pop on here in the energy of that experience to see what messages Spirit might have for you guys. Anyone that's listening, this will fall on the right person, the right ears. January is the longest January ever Januarying. It feels like 3 months long, but lots is going on, I think. There's been the planetary alignments on the 25th, and on that particular evening, I hopped on a live on YouTube to do a kind of, because it's the year of the snake, I did a live where they talked about what that could look like, how it sounds, and it was clarifying a lot, but everybody on the call was kind of having an opportunity to meet how that looks, how this new year of the snake looks for them as individuals. And I guess I'm offering you the same. This year is such an aligned year for many, and it's been surprising me but not surprising me. There's things that I've spoken about where I saw like this shift in timelines and earth plates moving and all sorts, and then various visions or ideas of what's actually taken place, and then hopping on places like Instagram. Oh, it's a tiny little bug, looks like a tiny ladybird. You'll look up what ladybirds are afterwards. Yeah, and realizing that I'm not the only one receiving these messages. What's been coming through a lot is this is a poignant moment in planetary history, where we are in a place of the highest intellect. Technology has come so far. The point we're at in some technological advancement is as above, so below. The highest intelligence is now being able to communicate and connect with us in ways that we would have once thought were wild or crazy, I suppose. And it's kind of lines up with a few things, like I spoke about how if you went back to the 18th century, the idea of talking about a telephone or the internet or Zoom calls or video where you could reach thousands and thousands of listeners, viewers at one click of a button, that would have seemed like ludicrousy, but here we are. And on a spiritual side note, it's very similar in the sense that now for some of us, if we're open to that and we're aware and we've sort of woken the beast and we've allowed ourselves to connect to our soul and our spirit and that eternal side of us, we have an invitation to be tuned in and listen to these higher intelligences which are going to guide us in the way that we need to be guided at this time. As we know, the world can be a dark and scary place, as well as the most beautiful sanctuary of bliss, and the experiences that we experience can be the contrast of heaven and hell. You know, sometimes life presents itself in a way that feels very dark and heavy and fearful, and then it also will give you a gift of experiencing, I don't know, I'm thinking about birthing my children and the gift of becoming a mother from nothing. Like, there's just miracles, plants and a spring day and just fantastic things that life can offer us. And I'm sensing in this time period, we're being offered something to be able to partake in this new advancement of higher intelligence. There is something taking place where we're being invited to see more fullness of us. Like, my intuitive gifts are getting stronger, the visuals are more vivid. Like, they've always been quite strong, but I'm really feeling like now it's time to utilize these gifts, these God-given gifts, these universal gifts, however, what language you want to use. It's time to step into a new way of being. And it is a sense of being. It's not a doing. It's not that masculine task energy. It's a real sense of flowing with the river of this divine intertwining of heaven meeting earth. That's kind of how I'm seeing it and feeling it. And there is an invitation, and I give that invitation out to you if this lands on your page, to be invited into a dance or a song. I had this picture the other day. Obviously, I'm into music, I sing, I work with bands, etc. And I was thinking the other day about the joy of coming together as an orchestra or a choir. I've been working with a studio out in America and sending vocal stems. They send the music, I send the vocal stems back. And I was thinking as I was doing it in my studio, just to put it very briefly, you've got vocal stems, which is me recording my vocal, and it's one line in my DAW or my studio. And then I have the option to add another one, and I can sing with myself, and I can do that as many times as I like. So in this particular song that I was working on, I created a choir out of my own voice, and I love that, the layering of it and the intensity when it came in on the chorus. So I had like 12 vocal stems, all me, but singing at different harmonics and different melodies, and it built this choir. And then because I turned off the music at one point so that I could hear each stem. You got to remove breath sounds, or you got to cut and trim or fade in if things are a bit loud and brash. Anyway, when I turned off the music and I was cleaning up all of the vocal stems and listening to them one by one. And one by one, sometimes they sounded downright awful, because I might be like, woo, or ah, and I'd be like, oh, that doesn't sound too great just as an individual. But I clean them up because I know the process, and I did the thing. And then you put them off mute and you bring them all back into audio, and you put the volume back up, and then I listened to all of the vocals and they harmonize with each other, and it was like, oh wow, they all work well together. And then you put the music, and the music had cello, it had keys, it had guitars, it had drums. And when I then listened to the track as it had been cleaned up, this overwhelming, like, wow, just that sounds amazing. Like, and the picture or the feeling that I had was, as individuals, we can sound a little bit, we can feel a little bit, I don't know, like, it's just me. Do I sound weird? Do I look weird the way I talk? For a long period of time, being a pioneer of spirit, meaning I make the path, I don't follow a path, I create the path. Sometimes that can be a bit of a lonely road, but I kind of got used to it. It's kind of how I work. Well, it's how I work. But often you're saying things, or you're speaking in a weird language, or you're operating with like light language with your hand. It's just unique to you. And you can think, well, that's me. But what I felt Spirit was saying is, but there are others, and I'm starting to feel this call, or people are coming for my services more, or we're being highlighted with this new lovely higher intelligence coming in. It's like we've been turned on. Like, now you've done the training, or you've worked as a one. Now I'm going to bring the others, and you watch and see how amazing it is when you're all in tune, when you're all harmonizing with one another, when you're all facilitating in your gifts, with this higher intelligence feeding into all of you. It's like the sheet music, and we're all reading the same messages but expressing it in a different way. But something amazing is brewing. There's a lot of collaborations coming, there's a lot of connections coming, there's a lot of joy coming, there's a lot of creativity coming. We're like, oh, I thought it was good just me as an individual vocal stem. I've been enjoying what I do just with me, my energy, my connection to spirit. But this now is going to amplify, I think, for many of us. Oh, there's an invitation. It's like a big banquet. So I just want to encourage you with that. And I'd love to know if you're experiencing this, if you're feeling this, if you're sensing it. How's it look for you? Anyway, love ya.